So the Kentucky shop. I knew you guys a long time ago as I think like Kentucky Local or something.
Yeah, it was originally Shop Local Kentucky was the original
There
name
you go.
of it. Yeah.
I remember people stopping down to your shop in Covington.
Mhm.
Wasn't it in a warehouse there in Covington?
It was actually
on Russell?
No, it was on Pike Street.
Okay.
So it was right on Pike Street right there. We were there 6 months because of COVID.
Wow.
So
Welcome to the party of 2020.
We had a short-lived venture there.
Well, welcome up here, guys, to Kentucky Shop. You guys are going to have a good story. I want to hear the good, as much of the bad as you'll share, and this journey from just normal folks that started in 2013 with an idea, and how that idea evolved and how it changed, and it doesn't look like now what originally you thought it was going to be,
Sure.
right, with it being an app and developed on the web. And so I think that's the story of entrepreneurship, that you guys are here 11 years later, still figuring out how to do this in new ways all the time, building a family, building dream homes, traveling to the Virgin Islands. Through all the struggle, it still seems like it's a really good life you've built.
Sure.
So we want to hear the story, the good, the bad, the ugly, and about your new trucker style hat that you sold 1,000 of last month, right? Come buy hats from us.
Something like that.
Yeah. So while they're enjoying hearing us on whatever platform, what's the best place they can go to buy one of these hats or shirts that we're going to be talking about this whole time?
TheKYShop.com.
There it is, guys. Go buy one, and we'll hit them at the end. So 2013, what in the world could you have thought 11 years later we're sitting right here?
No, it's.
And Joni, we're gonna make you talk today too. We're gonna do that's I promise.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. We'll get her fired up.
We've been trying.
This. So 2013.
It probably, honestly, we started probably 2012 would be a good spot.
When did you guys get together?
What year was that?
We had a child in 2010.
Okay, so this is a real full.
Okay, so we're going all the way back.
This is a real full journey together. So 2
Sure.
years even after you guys had a kid, this idea starts to happen.
Sure, yeah. So first started out, like I mentioned, we kind of were untraditional and met, as bartenders at Logan's Roadhouse. From there, we developed a friendship, and then we decided to take that friendship to the next level, and we decided baby was the next step for some reason. I'm not really sure, a little surprised. But we had a baby, and I got a job selling tires. It was really wonderful. My dad worked for a tire company in Lexington, so I was making $12 an hour selling tires, and we were living the dream out of a one-bedroom apartment in Lexington. So from there, my dad had a falling out with the owners of the tire company, and I got fired a week before our honeymoon, actually, a week before our wedding, week before our honeymoon. So needless to say, like I mentioned, we went down to the Virgin Islands, sat on a beach and sulked a little bit, and came back. And basically, I'd always wanted to be in web design. That was growing up what I was blessed at as far as in high school, that sort of thing. And so I didn't know it all. I didn't go to college for that. I got a degree in psychology. And so she started bartending at nighttime, and I went to Books A Million, bought every book I could on HTML and JavaScript and CSS and whatever else, and kind of started tinkering around. Basically launched a marketing company from our living room. And again, we were bartending both at the time, and it kind of took off a little bit. I realized that small businesses could use somebody that could make affordable websites for them rather than the companies that I had worked for. They were charging thousands and thousands of dollars for websites at that time. And so about that time, a little app called Instagram popped up, and my wife and we decided, okay, well, this is great that we're doing this side hustle, but we need like benefits and insurance for our kid and like all these sort of security things that we're not able to afford, unfortunately. So I got a job at the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce up in Frankfort in marketing. Worked there for about a year and a half. Turns out I don't like politics too much, so I decided to start an app. And the app was based off of what the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce already did, which was connect business owners from across the state. But my idea was a little bit different. We're not going to send them to a conference in Louisville together. We're going to connect them through an app where a ice cream shop in Pikeville could connect with an ice cream shop in Paducah, share what they're doing, share how they're doing it, and working together. And it turns out people are a little more selfish than that with their own businesses. So we went to launch this app, and it was a massive failure. We launched it out there. Nobody wanted to use it. Nobody had the extra time. They were all trying to figure out Facebook and this new app again, Instagram. And so I was like, I'm just going to start posting pictures of Kentucky. And so I would just post pictures of wherever I was. I was traveling a lot for the chamber at that time. So if I were in Wilmore, post a picture of Wilmore and pretty picture, whatever. And it sort of grew to about 20,000 followers within about 6 months. And we were like, okay, there has to be something here. If the app isn't it, what is it? And we've always had a heart for charity. So we decided we're going to make t-shirts. I'd grown up. I had made t-shirts as a kid, worked in a t-shirt shop. My dad co-owned one. And so we bought a little press, put it in our garage, and decided that we were going to connect with a local charity to sell some t-shirts. It's called the Toy Chest Children's Charity. And it basically provided socks, underwear, that kind of stuff for kids in Eastern Kentucky and Central Kentucky. And so I built a little rinky-dink website, e-commerce site. It had like one product on it. And so we put the product out there, posted on social media, on Instagram in the early days, which there was no algorithm at this point. And we sell out with like in an hour. And I'm at work. I'm in like the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce at my desk job. And she's texting me going like, hey, you might want to check the website because you're overselling currently. And I thought, there's no way. There's no way that this many people came and bought this. And so we didn't know how to ship anything. We had no idea how to do anything. We didn't have the t-shirts done already. So we needed to print them. I'd only, like I said, put 100 in stock. So essentially we sold out. We printed the t-shirts. We gave 100% of the funds to charity, and we looked at each other and said, let's make t-shirts. And from there, it was just kind of a wild ride for 2 years-ish of going to every festival fair around the state that would have us. And, and we sold online, but it was mainly us going to night markets on Friday night or the Bluegrass Festival down the road or whatever else. And honestly, just traveling around meeting people. That was sort of the core of how we got started and how we decided that this is what we're going to do. So
was it fun?
Sometimes. There were a lot of really hot days, a lot of long days.
Did you have the baby with you?
Not at that point.
Okay. No. She, so when I was at the chamber, she got pregnant with our second kid. And so the funny thing about this is that we almost quit at one point because we were at a festival. We had every bit of merchandise that we had printed, owned. We had about $500 in our bank account at that point. And we go to the Bluegrass Festival up in Louisville, and a storm came in that I've never witnessed before in my entire life. It was like a hurricane came through there, and she's like 8 months pregnant, and we're standing under a tent just holding on to it for dear life. We'd spent $300 on the tent that morning. Like I said, we had $500 left to our name. The tent just gets decimated and blown away. All of our merchandise ruined. It just blown completely away, muddy, everything else. So we were safe, fortunately, but we just pack up our car and head home. On the drive home, it was kind of an eerie thing because we're both talking about quitting this whole thing. And we're like, this isn't it. This isn't it. Let's go home. Let's get normal day jobs. This isn't our lifestyle. And a motorcycle passes us coming down I-64, 75, whatever, 64, and wrecks. And he dies on the side of the road in front of us. And we're going, oh my gosh, life is a short thing. And that was sort of one of those moments where we looked at each other and go, are we really going to quit this? And, I don't take that lightly that someone passed away, obviously, but like seeing that in person on that sort of moment, we were like, we only get one life. You only get one life. Let's go. And so we got back home, we regrouped, and we took that $500 and put it back into the business and kind of didn't look back from there. It was just from then on, it was all we were going to do. That was it.
Do you think if that moment doesn't happen, does something else cause you not to quit, or do you think you were done?
What about you?
I don't know. I think we would have kept going.
You think so?
Yeah.
It was just a moment of tears and crying, and
yeah, there's a lot of emotion. Hormones.
Yeah, yeah. She's 8 months pregnant. We're trying to figure out how to support a new baby, that sort of thing. So, yeah, I don't know if it was that. For me, it was kind of a moment of humanity of going like, okay, this can end at any time. This whole thing. So we need to do what we want with our time when we're here. And that was essentially what led us to, me at least. Was
that the closest you guys came to quitting? I'm not asking every thought you've had because entrepreneurs have the thoughts. Or was there other moments? Joni, I think there was maybe some other moments here.
I don't know.
She's such an optimistic force that honestly,
I would keep going.
She would keep going no matter what.
Regardless.
Yes.
Cardboard box type of stuff. You just keep going.
Yep. Yep.
Where's
that's
that
her.
come from? Have you thought about it? Because it comes from somewhere. I mean, whether it's somebody that impacted you as a kid, whether it's you two getting together and then this inspired life. I mean,
I don't know. I feel like I get a lot of my work ethic
Yep.
from my dad. He's very hardworking.
Yeah.
He's a mechanic.
Positive guy too.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Are we allowed to talk if he's a good father-in-law or not? Was he always accepting? It's okay if he wasn't.
Yes, we're two different people. I'll say it that way, as sons and father-in-laws tend to be a lot of times.
Is he happy now?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, he's
Yeah.
happy now.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I think he worried when somebody comes to you and tells you, "Hey, we're gonna make T-shirts in our garage." You know, that's
And you got fired from a tire store.
yeah.
I mean, let's be real. First, you're having a baby with his daughter before you get married.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're painting me so well.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you. I mean, this is how a father-in-law is going to look at it, right? This is his baby. I mean, I'm just saying.
Right,
So
I get it. I got
and,
two girls.
See, so yeah, just remember
Right.
that future guy when
Yep.
he gets fired from like making smoothies or something. Don't totally question everything about his life. You can have a conversation with him, but you get fired from the tire shop. You guys are investing everything you have financially into making T-shirts, right? There's going to be, this is what the world does, though. It questions us,
Mhm.
right? And then I said, hey, give me one word to describe yourself before we sat down. You're like, grit.
Yeah.
Did you always know that?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
What's it mean to you? What's grit mean to you?
Since I was a kid, I've always wanted to be in business. I had short little side hustles, depending on what they were in high school. I did car stereo installation when Fast and Furious came out, and it was kind of the rage. And I was the only person in Clark County that knew how to wire a car stereo, that sort of thing. And I always wanted, my dad was an entrepreneur, so I always wanted to have that independence that I saw him have as a kid, which wasn't necessarily financial independence. It was the independence to be able to go and do what he wanted when he wanted with his time. So for me, that's what it's always driven me to, is that I want to do the most with my time, but it's going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of head down time and a lot of, times that other people wouldn't want to be here in order to get
Yeah.
there.
If you love what you do, it makes it.
Yeah, right.
Think that's good? Did you love it before? That's the big question, though. So you're so nice. I can't be mean to Joni all day. I'll try not to have tough questions, but the tough part about that statement is that there's a lot of time that it doesn't feel like you love it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's just weird, isn't it, to say like it's what we love, but it's like, man, there's a lot of times when you're willing and you have to do things
Sure.
that others just aren't willing to do.
Right.
So maybe there's a love of the idea of what the thing can be. I don't know. What's our thought about it? Do you love it the way that she said? Maybe do you love the idea of entrepreneurship? Do you just love making T-shirts? Do you love the business? What is it that you love?
I don't know that I necessarily love the T-shirt business as a whole.
Yeah.
I love what we do. And it sounds hokey, and people, recognize obviously online that I talk about Kentucky nonstop. I really love Kentucky. I really, really do. I love the place that we're from. I've traveled the entirety of the state. We've done charitable drives for, every part of the state. I've met a lot of people across Kentucky, and I just don't think there is a more of a place that could feel home to me necessarily. And I won't say that for everybody, because obviously everybody loves and hates.
We'll fight over the table. We're going to fight.
Exactly.
But
For me, I love Kentucky. So therefore, I get to go out every day and promote a place I love, whether it be through a T-shirt or social media posts or whatever else. And that's kind of always been with me since I worked at the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce.
Why do you love it?
Why?
Yeah, why?
So
I've been in 43 states in this country. Traveled, so I've been around a lot too.
Right.
But why do you love it? And I'm not. It might sound like an argument. It's not, but I want to know why Rick loves it.
Why I love Kentucky, outside of the traditions.
Yeah.
So we're talking basketball, football,
and horses.
We're real big in football.
And horses.
I don't know if y'all knew. Horses, bourbon, so on and so
We lost
forth.
to Georgia by 1 point last week.
That's true, and my mentions are pretty dirty about that right now. But I think that the reason I love Kentucky is that I've traveled around quite a bit. Probably Colorado being my second favorite state. I love to ski. But I've traveled around quite a bit, and there's just nowhere else that I would want to put my roots. I feel like it's where I want my family to be and where I want them to be from. I think that there's something, and again, I'm not
there.
Not putting down anywhere else.
Go there.
There's something better about being a Kentuckian. That's how I feel. And that's why we made our motto, life is better in Kentucky. And, it wasn't necessarily financially better or better well off because, we have our own problems and poverty and so on and so forth. It was just because I love the place and I can't explain that, it's where I was born and raised. It's where I've raised my kids. It's probably where I'm dying. So
if you're lucky, right?
If I'm lucky, they'll bury me there, spread me there, whatever they do.